So over the weekend, we got an official launch day lineup for Google Stadia, and there hasn't been the kindest reactions. It's also confused some people as well, but first let's start with what we got and dive into some reactions, the surprises, and what my thoughts are on the November 19th launch of Google Stadia and its lineup. First of all, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, click that bell notification to stay updated, and don't forget to like this video as it really will help us out. But without further ado, let's get into the lineup for Google Stadia come November 19th. And first up, we have Assassin's Creed Odyssey. This is no surprise considering Assassin's Creed was specifically the franchise that was being tested during the beta stages of Google Stadia, which was known at the time as Project Stream. Odyssey is the latest in the Assassin's Creed franchise, and if you played the Assassin's Creed series back with its debut back in 2007, you may wonder why this game has changed so drastically. That being said, many fans have given the game incredible praise, and while I'll always be partial to Ezio Auditore da Firenze, it's good to see one of my favorite franchises from the 7th generation doing so well here in 2019 and being a big representative on Stadia's launch day. If you'll be playing Google Stadia on launch day, chances are this next game will cost you nothing. Destiny 2: The Collection. We've already gone over this game previously, but I'm still curious to see if Stadia will eventually feature the vanilla version of Destiny 2 or just keep the collection on there. Like I said, from a business perspective, I really think it would be wise to introduce free-to-play games as a way for people to test drive the service out. Either way, this will without a doubt be the most played game for the first few weeks of Stadia, simply based on the fact it's free and an online multiplayer game. Next is Guilt. Just last week, when I did my top 10 games I want to see on Google Stadia video, I mentioned Guilt did not have a release date. Well, it does now, and it absolutely should be on launch day. Had Stadia released with 0 exclusives, that would have been a poor move. It shall be interesting, but I'll talk a little bit more about Guilt later. Just Dance 2020 is up next, and this is the series that just won't go away and is the sole reason why the Nintendo Wii has still been alive. I wish I'd have taken a picture at the time, but I saw this game at my local Walmart in a Wii case, and it's so surreal seeing a brand new Nintendo Wii game alongside the Switch releases. Sorry Wii U, but your older brother's still cooler than you. From what I'm aware of, you will be able to play Just Dance 2020 on Stadia by using your phone as you would a Wiimote. Honestly, I really have no idea, but this is not a game I plan on buying, so moving on. Next is Kind. I know nothing about this game until I started doing this video, but just on first glance through this game's gameplay trailer, it seems to have a gameplay quite similar to Crypt of the Necrodancer, minus the enemies. You're to move to the rhythm of the music, and it's as simple as that. It's a puzzle game, so it'll require a different type of gameplay style in contrast with Crypt of the Necrodancer. But I do like the art here. It's been available on other platforms since October 17th for $19.99, so expect a similar price when it launches on Google Stadia next week. Mortal Kombat! Okay, no gameplay of this game will be shown, just the cover art due to how YouTube handles Mortal Kombat and me not wanting any issues. You know what Mortal Kombat is all about already, and there are a couple games in this launch list that will test Stadia and its limits in terms of input lag and latency, and Mortal Kombat 11 is among them. Playing Mortal Kombat on PlayStation Now provided nearly no latency for me, but I have a feeling that PlayStation has not put as much effort and resources into their cloud gaming service as Google has been. I won't be buying this game at launch as I already own the game on the Switch, but when it eventually gets its Ultimate Edition and finds its way into the sub $20 range like all NetherRealm games do, I'll probably buy it then so I can have a much better looking version of the game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is up, and like the last 3 games on this list coming up, this will test how good Stadia can look. People are absolutely excited for Red Dead and how it will react in 60 frames per second and 4K. This was one of the most anticipated games of this generation, and it makes sense for Stadia to get a hold of it and include it on launch day. How it performs will be a great thing to watch from afar and should be a noteworthy entry in the Stadia lineup. Admittedly, I have never played a single Samurai Shodown game. This is a game set to eventually get released on every current platform, including the Switch and the PC, but right now it's only available on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One since it's been released over the summer. We will get it next week on Stadia, and like Mortal Kombat, this and the next game will allow us to test the latency of Google Stadia and how it will perform in that regard. Also like Mortal Kombat, it's a fighting game and also features a story mode. Next game is Thumper. I love Thumper, but damn is this game hard. Thumper being a rhythm game will test out how our inputs will be, and I'll be interested to see if they have some kind of calibration setting that needs to be involved as well. And this may be the game I end up putting my money on to test out how well the latency is with Stadia. Like Kind, the Thumper is set at $19.99 on current platforms, so expect a similar price for Thumper on Stadia. You're a beetle moving to a certain beach trying to take down an evil being, and it's a beautiful game, and from what I understand, it's amazing in virtual reality. One day I'll suck it up and get a PSVR or something similar and see for myself, but like Guilt, I'll have a little more to add regarding Thumper in a moment. We'll bundle the final 3 games together because they belong in the same series. We are getting the entire Tomb Raider series from Crystal Dynamics at launch for Google Stadia. These are fantastic games if you have yet to play them at this point. If you are a fan of the Uncharted series, you'll love these games as well. You're traversing all sorts of terrain with a bow and arrow, and of course additional weapons at your ready, and provides a damn near cinematic experience and a great take on the origin story of Lara Croft. Now, the reactions. So just looking at the Reddit thread, for instance, announcing the launch titles, fans are a little less than impressed with how the launch looks. In fact, some people in the thread are talking about canceling their pre-order if they hadn't already. I think this is the wrong move if I were them. Let's say it was the Founders Edition they canceled. They now gave up that exclusive controller that is only for Founders, their immediate free access to Destiny 2's entire catalog, 3 months of Stadia Pro for them, and a friend. And once again, a reminder that the contest to win those 3 free months from me is ending Sunday, so go watch my video linked in the description below. And this is just what we're getting on day 1 to purchase. Nothing says the next wave doesn't happen a couple days later. People are also questioning certain game websites announcing that their games will be available for Stadia come November 19th, like Football Manager 2020. However, there is news regarding Football Manager 2020's release on Stadia from the director of Football Manager, as he tweeted the following in response to why it wasn't listed as a launch game. As far as we're concerned, our release date on Stadia is still the 19th. I can only presume it's not on this list as being definitely there because maybe the other titles have already passed the submission process, whereas we haven't given them final build as of yet. So this leads me to believe we could still be looking at additional titles come November 19th for Stadia. Now, as for surprises, let's assume Doom 2016 and Borderlands 3 don't end up launching on the 19th. To me, that would be kind of odd. Borderlands 3, like Red Dead, was another highly anticipated title this year, and to not see that at launch would be a misstep in my opinion. Perhaps they have plans of dropping the first, second, and pre-sequel as well, and want to get them all at the same time, but I'm purely speculating with that. Doom makes less sense to be absent considering it was essentially the Stadia test game along with Doom Eternal and Assassin's Creed. While Eternal has been delayed on all consoles, not including the 2016 Doom, is quite perplexing. Again, this could just be a hasn't been submitted issue, but it would be quite odd to see it missing on the 19th. So, what are my thoughts? It's a less than stellar lineup in terms of quantity. There's no doubt there are some quality titles here, but I am quite curious why all the announced games that have been released on other platforms at this point aren't going to be launching on Stadia, and why everyone is finding out less than 10 days before launch. This is a poor move on Google's part with not getting ahead with this news, but perhaps their submission process didn't allow them to announce anything more than the 12 games we have so far. Seeing Borderlands, NBA, and Doom not there are 3 significant games being missed right now. I hope to see these games in the store on the 19th, but as of this video's release, we can't even confirm that at the moment. As for what I'll be picking up, like I said, Thumper will probably be the first game I actually buy just to test out how well the game does in regards to input lag. It's a challenging yet fun experience that I recommend everyone to try at some point, but if I were you, I wouldn't necessarily go buy it right away like I'm gonna be doing. And maybe with Guilt as well, because now in my first Google Stadia video, I predicted we would see Tomb Raider 2013 being a free game in the future for Pro members. However, I do believe that Thumper and Guilt will be among those free games in the future. I think if Google makes Guilt their next free game, it will allow the Founders Pro members a chance to play it. They'll get the chance to hype it up online, and when more people get their hands on Google Stadia over the next year, they'll have seen the word of mouth and go buy it for themselves. Stadia needs Guild to be successful, so they have a reason to continue to make exclusives. So what do you think of the launch titles for Google Stadia? What games are missing in your opinion? Leave your thoughts below. And as I have already mentioned, I am giving away 3 months of Google Stadia Pro, so click that link in the description to watch a video and on how to do so. And of course, don't forget to like this video, it really does help us out. Share this with a friend who is interested in Google Stadia, or maybe they have no idea about Google Stadia and need to see what is coming out come the 19th. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. That's how you get notified right away that, hey, we have new content coming up. We're all over the gaming world, including Stadia. Later, we're going to have a video on the Sonic movie trailer that just launched, and I might have a rant or two about other things in the world of gaming, so stick around for that. Of course, click that bell. That's when you'll get notified specifically when there's a new video coming out. And of course, until next time, thank you for your time and party on.